Hey everybody, welcome to Queers and Soaps. You're not seeing things, we are together. We're in the
Yay!
same place. We are here to discuss the episodes this week that aired from June what was this week? 16th to the 20th. Oh no, it's the 9th to the 13th. Oh
I'm
my god.
really bad at dates.
I know. It's the 9th to the 13th, yes. Where I'm jumping ahead. But Tommy will roll the credits and we'll get right into it. All right, so it was a great week. Really, really good.
I thought it was super exciting. A lot happened, and it happened like very quickly. I kind of
Mhm.
almost wish like the custody hearing had been drawn out for another week, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's some really excellent things that happened.
Yeah, it was really good. All right, well, we'll start with Rocco and Gio. Rocco and Gio meet up at the pool, Metrocart pool. They decide they're just going to be friends. They're not ready to be brothers yet. And Gio also says that Dante still means nothing to him, and he's so yeah.
It was funny because Rocco's like, "My dad is a great dad," and Gio's like, "Not to me."
Not to me. He's really actually very horrible to me.
Yeah, I kind of felt I felt bad for him because of that.
Yeah,
But Dante kind of earned that, so.
I agree. All right, so we'll talk about Lucky and Liz. Lucky goes with Liz to her first day back at work. Lucky seems a little reluctant about his decision to leave, but Liz reminds him of who he really is, and this is what's the best thing for him. They admit they love each other, and but poor Charles is not a fit for him. So I was confused in the scene. I thought this was his last scene with Liz, and I really didn't like it. I was like, that's a really bad last scene together. But they did have a scene together later, which I liked.
I don't like any of this, like, because I really wanted Lucky to stay, and I kind of like
Mm-hmm.
that they got back together after all these years, and they kind of
Mm-hmm.
resolved all that hatred for that storyline with Maxie and drugs and all of that. So
Yeah.
I like that we got closure on that, but he didn't really get to do much in this time on
Mm-hmm.
the show, so now I just feel sad that he's leaving.
Yeah. So in comes Lucas. He's happy to see her and welcomes her back. She tells him about Lucky proposing and now he's leaving.
Mm.
They have a heart to heart about the situation, which is really nice. Lucas agrees that she did what was best, and he says, "Truly loving someone is doing what's best for them," and I like that when he
We
said
just
that.
like when Lucas is on.
Yeah, we do. So Lulu expresses her regrets about the way she handled things with Rocco, with Lucky. Rocco did tell her that Gio was hurting right now, and that Gio is not responding to his attempts to contact Dante, or Dante is not responding his attempts to contact. Gio's attempting not to.
Gio's not
Right.
contacting anybody. He's not
Exactly.
ready. He's not
Exactly.
ready
He's not
to talk
ready.
to these crazy people
Mhm.
who just threw him into the middle of the biggest clan of crazy people that ever
Mhm.
existed. He's not ready for any of this, and he's hurt.
Yes, he is.
But Dante thinks, a conversation will fix it because he didn't yell at that kid for weeks.
Right. And Lucky says goodbye to Lulu. He says he's going to take Aiden away for the summer. They're going to go to Paris and then Amsterdam. So I like that he's taking Aiden along with him. That's nice.
He's like, I'm going to take him to some of my dad's old haunts, and I
Yeah.
love that continuation for him.
Yes, that was awesome.
Also, he's not being a deadbeat dad, which I really hate GH's track record of doing.
Yeah, I was glad that he didn't just ghost and be like, bye.
It was nice meeting you, son of mine. Goodbye.
Right. Thanks for coming out to me, but I gotta go.
No, I'm okay with it. I'll see you.
Yeah, right. I'm really okay, but I gotta go.
This is my impression of Lucky.
Yeah, for real. So he and Lulu have a heartfelt goodbye, and he says if she ever needs anything, he'll come back. So that was really
I
sweet.
love how everyone's like, you could text.
Yeah,
And he's like, yeah, I don't really do that.
I know.
Like, what are you talking
He just doesn't. He's just not good at being in touch with people.
about?
I
No, he
guess.
really isn't.
Yeah. So then he goes to see Isaiah, and he tells him they have a goodbye, and he says he can keep the deed on the cabin that his dad built, and that
I don't remember this cabin at all.
I don't either.
I don't remember this.
Mm-mm.
But I'll take a free cabin. Good job, Isaiah.
Yeah, right. So at the nurse's station, Isaiah sees Elizabeth and lets her know that Lucky came by to say goodbye. He said that Lucky told him about the proposal, and then they gave him the cabin. Isaiah wonders if Elizabeth should take a chance with Lucky staying, and she said even though it was tempting, Port Charles is where Lucky was from, but not where he belongs. So,
He's not even from Port Charles because
he's
remember he
not.
came there when he was 10.
No, he grew up in Canada.
He grew up on the road actually
Yeah. Well, they were in Canada when they got back, but yeah, I guess they grew up.
at the Triple L Diner.
Yes. All right. So Lucky and Aiden, as we said, are planning to travel together for the summer.
You think they'll go see Jake?
That would be cool. Yeah, they
That'd
should.
be fun.
They definitely should.
All her kids are like going to Europe.
So he visits Laura to say goodbye, and Laura says she wants update pictures, and that's when he says, "Yeah, I don't really do that."
My favorite part in that was like, you and Dad really liked your adventures, and Laura's just like, yeah, we did like our adventures. Like, yeah, it's princess time. Yeah.
Yeah. So after Lucky leaves, I thought it was really cute that she looked at the younger picture of him, and he was so
He's
little.
so baby.
I know he's so little. I remember when he came on. I don't remember him being that little, but he looked really.
I do. I
Yeah.
texted my mom. I'm like, baby Lucky.
Okay, so that was the last goodbye, and then Lucky and Aiden go to the airport. Aiden's looking forward to going to Paris, but Lucky says Paris is just a pit stop for now because they're going to Amsterdam, like we said, to look at Luke's old haunts. He gets a text from Liz saying, "Wait for me." They share a very loving goodbye, and he told her that he'll think of her when he sees something beautiful. So
And she's like, I will always love you.
yeah, she did say
I
that.
think it's time for her. If they're not going to have him on, it's time for her to move on. From
Yeah,
this.
it's a shame.
It
I
sucks.
love them together, and
Yeah,
it's
me
so
too.
sad. But I get it. Sometimes people grow apart. I get it.
Well, also, like, he was just like, maybe when your kids leave the house, we could just travel forever. And she's like, I have a job.
Yeah,
I like my job.
right. And
She's a nurse. Like, I mean, I guess she could become like a traveling nurse, but you have to be certified in different areas, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know anything about being a nurse.
So later, Liz and Laura meet up. Liz is a little worried that she's going to blame her for Lucky leaving, but Laura does not blame her. Of course, I don't think Laura would ever blame her. I don't know why Liz thought that.
I guess because like she said no to the proposal, and that's why Lucky kind of got weirded out and left town.
Yeah.
But Laura's not like that.
But Laura says she wants Lucky to be true to himself and be happy, and she was grateful for Elizabeth.
And also, Laura has been treating Elizabeth like her daughter since the 90s, so it's fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
She was just like, "Oh, you're dating my son? New daughter unlocked."
All right, so we'll talk about Martin coming back in a little bit, but she also mentions that Martin wants to approach her about a case because he's looking for clients. Because she wants him to sue the car company for the car accident, and Liz, knowing what really happened, is like, "Nah, I'm good."
So funny though, because she's like, "Are you here ambulance chasing?" And he's like, "I am."
Yes.
By the way, that's illegal. You can't ambulance chase.
No, not at all. Okay, so we'll talk about Ava, Cody, Christina, and that whole scenario. So Ava shows up at Metrocourt, and Marco is there. They have a brief.
In the most ridiculous outfit ever.
Oh yeah,
I love Ava.
I did love the sunglasses.
I did. The hat was a little much.
Yeah.
But sun protection,
So they briefly meet, and they talk about the whole thing with Natalia, and she does actually apologize, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's delayed to hear about Lucas, and they're dating, I guess. I don't know if they haven't really addressed that.
You know what? They really haven't.
Yeah.
They haven't. I would like to see them on more regular dates without all the heavy drama on top of it. Maybe just having fun in the background of somebody else's scenes.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
I want to like them together, and I do. So I need them to be on more together.
Yeah. So Cody also approaches Carly at the Metrocourt pool and asks her how she felt about love. He pitched an idea, have a weekly singles night at the Metrocourt pool.
I think this is a smart idea. Actually.
Yeah. Carly asked him if he would like to be part of the process. He told her no, but the wealthy, hot young singles would likely want to rent rooms at the hotel. Carly laughs and reminds Cody that the Metrocourt is a 5-star establishment and they don't need to rent rooms for the night. So funny.
Yeah.
All right. So after his proposal was rejected, Cody spies Gio, who's working as a lifeguard position, and they briefly talk, and he offers him help with whatever he needs. That was sweet.
I like that because they have a relationship separate from whatever the nightmarish drama is. Even though he did help Lulu uncover Gio's identity, I don't think Gio knows that. But I like that Cody's trying to make friendships outside of just grifting people.
Right, right, exactly.
Cody really grew on me when he talked about that falling into the pool, and
Mhm.
it reminded me of what he was like when he was first on, and I was like, I hated you a lot. I love you now.
Yeah. So Christina arrives at the pool and she has a PTSD moment of her falling out the window.
I wish they had
I
shown
did
the
too.
clip. I
I
was
did
so
too. I was
mad.
waiting
Show
for
the
it.
clip.
I was waiting for the clip. It was
They
so
never used
funny.
flashbacks correctly.
No,
That would have been so funny for me. I
hmm
don't know how other people felt, but like when they re-showed that clip like 18 times the week it happened, show it again. Just keep using it.
Well, Gio notices and offers her get her some water and some comfort.
Hmm.
He offered tickets to Ella, but she's resolved to stay and face her fears.
Smart.
Yeah. She spotted Ava, who was on the phone. What was it, Emina or Ava? It's Ava. Yeah. Ava's on the phone trying to get Sybil's Van Gogh custom. Yeah, that makes
Oh,
more
okay,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. So Ava got back to her poolside spot. Cody's lying there. And let's see. After that, she gives him the boot and offers him a drink to make up for his blunder. Christina walks off to get her an iced tea. After Cody chats for a little bit, Ava got up to leave. So let's see. Christina says he approaches her and says that she's back at the scene of the crime. Ava dismissed her by saying it's a beautiful day, and then she says something about, "Isn't it great to celebrate your freedom?" Implying that she's not going to have it for much longer.
She's my favorite. I don't know how you can't love Ava.
So Ava sees that. I'm sorry, Christina sees that Ava left her sunglasses behind, and then she sees Cody's, and then he goes up, and then she approaches him, and he says, "Hello, Molly's sister." That was cute.
So that was really funny to me. I kept telling my mom, I'm like, he doesn't even know her name. He's just
He
like,
just knows Molly. He just
that's
knows.
Molly's sister.
That's Molly's
No, he knows
sister,
her
yeah.
name. But that was very cute. I like that.
So Christina offers him a proposition. She wants him to seduce Ava, and he said like it's going to cost you like $1,000 or something like that
For the checking
for
it
the
out
check
to see if
for
it would
right to check it
happen.
out, make sure it
He's
works.
right. Listen, get paid
Yeah.
up front. And, before
Mhm.
you get involved in this, even if it didn't work out, he'd still have a grand. So
Mhm.
good for Cody. Get it in writing.
I also like when Christina called her raccoon, and then Cody says she's into garbage. That was so funny. Christina was okay in this scene. I wasn't like
I
I
like
didn't hate
this
her.
new storyline for Christina. I think this will be really fun.
It should be interesting to
It's
watch.
kind of an old school mess around, and I'm ready to see that happen on General Hospital.
Yeah,
Also, I think Cody and Ava will fall in love.
that'll be interesting. Oh my god, so interesting.
She likes them young.
She does. She liked Morgan.
Yeah, she liked Morgan and she liked Nicholas and she liked the
Mhm.
younger looking Nicholas.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so Christina tells Cody that she wants to come between Rick and Ava and help Rick see how horrible Ava is. Cody's confused by this, as he should be, because I didn't know you were looking out for your Uncle Ricky. And Cody and Christina's like, no, I'm more like I'm looking out for Molly.
Yeah.
Sure you are.
She's not. She's just trying to
And
find
I
revenge
love
in a
how she
different way.
calls the our baby. I'm like, this is the first time I've ever heard her say that. I'm like,
She says
what?
it when she's trying to score points
Right.
with her sister. Otherwise,
Yes.
it's my baby and the wrong name and all of that.
Yes. So I'm like, since when is it our baby? I'm confused.
She's awful.
So later, Christina visits Alexis at her law office. Alexis is concerned about this plan of hers. She thinks it's a really bad idea, and she says, "Have you not learned anything?"
The funniest thing is like Christina's like, I've really thought this through. I've done all these things that are
Mhm.
impulsive and not in control. And I've thought every one of them through. And Alexis is like, oh my God. Her face is everything.
I also like when she said, "What did you do? Hire a gigolo?" So funny. Christina's very confident in her plan, though. She really thinks it's gonna work. So
I've been that
we'll-
confident before too when I'm drunk. But
Right. We'll say. We'll say. All right. So Cody does express some reservations about Christina's plan after researching Ava. He says, "I didn't know. I know she wasn't a saint, but I didn't know how downright lethal she was." So he brings up the fact that she shot Olivia and that she killed Connie.
He's like, don't get me wrong, she's hot, but she's a murderer.
Right? She also killed Mama Q's cousin, which was the agent
Connie.
Connie. Yeah,
Yeah, Connie Falconeri.
Yeah, so funny. I didn't. I took me a minute. I didn't realize he
What
meant
was
Olivia.
Connie's other name? Like when she ran the
Kate.
Kate, whatever. Yeah, I would have changed my name to Kate too. My name was
Kate Howard. Yeah.
Kate Howard. A nice normal name.
Instead of what was her full name? Was it Costanza Falconeri or something like that?
Yeah,
something
terrible. I
it was
don't
really
know what
bad.
Olivia's mother is like, but I think we should meet her.
Yeah.
It would be ridiculous. Or Connie's mom. I don't know who has any relatives left.
Yeah, I don't know.
People are always dead off camera. I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so let's see, where are we? So Laura asked Alexis to come to her office after this to discuss Martin and Elizabeth. She shared that she talked with Elizabeth about the car wreck and would encourage her to sue the car company. Alexis says she happens to know for a fact that the car was demolished. And then Alexis tells Laura that she'll take a look at everything, but Laura asked her to think about it. So
I think it's funny because Alexis was sure this was going to be about the money, and
she
then
was.
comes in and it's about ambulance chasing, and then that could also be bad for her. So this whole scenario was like a minefield for Alexis.
Yeah,
she did really well, but also I felt bad for her because she respects Laura so much, and she had to lie to her in that scene, and you could see how uncomfortable it made her.
Yes.
She's like hating Christina more and more every day, I think.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, should not have protected her, should have committed her.
She's getting really annoyed with her, and I like it.
Because she hasn't learned a thing.
No.
She's learned nothing.
So you should have done what you were going to do and institutionalize her.
Yep.
Pretty much.
I mean, as usual, Diane is correct.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this scenario yet where Diane wasn't correct.
Yeah.
Diane is correct.
I'm
so tiny. I'm like wearing my nurse's ball shirt, but you can never see anything because I'm so small.
All right, so we'll talk about Brooklyn and Lulu and Maxie.
Do we have to?
I know.
I'm getting really bored with them.
Me too. Brooklyn's at the Quartermain boathouse, contemplating her new reality with Chase. They're hashing everything out. Brooklyn concludes that the fallout is all Lulu's fault. Chase supports her and agrees with her, and he shares that Lois texted him, and she responded by telling her that it's up to Brooklyn to decide if she wanted to talk to her or not.
But he also wasn't mean to her. He just said that he didn't want to get in the middle, and that like while he loved both of them, he was not getting into it. Right. Because he was not going to act as the go-between between them.
He also tells her that give everyone a chance to process this, and he's worried that she hurt Gia the most because she gave him away, which is unfair because she was a child. So
I feel like that's something that Gio hasn't grasped yet.
He doesn't grasp
that
it at
she
all.
was a child at the time.
No, it's hopefully he'll figure that out. He'll come to that realization.
Will they though? Like this is a soap.
No,
he could go on a villain arc because of this. I don't know. It could go anywhere.
That's possible. Yeah,
it'll be fun though.
So they vow to learn from their mistakes to be completely honest with their children. She states that
I'm going to tell them Santa isn't real.
She says that Lulu will she states that Lulu will never learn from her mistakes. So
you're not learning from yours either, so it's fine.
Yeah.
No one needs to learn. This is a soap.
So then Marco arrives at the boathouse to meet with Brooklyn, who apparently wants to hire him to sue Lulu. We're not really sure though; they don't mention it.
I think that's what it is. I think it's they want to adopt a kid and they want a lawyer. Because remember, they were talking to Lexus before about adoption.
They were, yeah.
So are they going to go forward with that while all of this is going on, or what?
I don't know. I'll be interested to see where that develops.
It's good to give Marco a storyline. That's all I'm about it.
So Tracy sees Marco leave and questions Brooklyn about this, and Brooklyn doesn't say anything about talking to him about Lulu, instead vented about Lois and Gloria. So she claims that she had tried her whole life to live up to her mother and Gloria's standards, and but look where that got her.
All of this is unfair.
Yeah.
You can't take one choice they made over 20 years ago, and it got compounded, sure, and then extrapolate that your entire relationship is based on that one thought.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Brooklyn expresses her anger at herself for not looking out for Gio and for Lulu not coming to her first. She also wished that she had come clean to Dante on her own terms and didn't keep the secret because Lois and Gloria pressured her to. So Tracy asked her if she thinks that Lulu needs to be held accountable. Brooklyn felt that she had done what needed to be done. What was needed to be making amends for her past actions with Dante and Lulu. She concluded that she should have been more like Tracy, to which Tracy responded, I don't know whether to be insulted or flattered. I'm going with flattered, though.
Yeah, sure.
So I don't know. Do you think she's going to sue Lulu?
For what?
I don't know.
Like,
Harassment?
I mean, she can sue her on the basis that it was supposed to be a closed adoption. She could have, except that
Mhm.
none of this was done on the books, and you know it.
Right.
All of this was done in shady dealings and people signing. I don't even know if there's any official paperwork that would say that Gio was adopted
Yeah, it's true.
because of how all of this was done. So what can they sue her for? Hating her, revealing a secret. None of those
Mhm.
are liable.
Yeah. Well, Tracy says that she would rather her put her energy into her son and fixing and keeping
Tracy's
her.
right.
Yeah, and she is right. But Tracy, if this had happened to her back in the day, she would have done the same thing.
I think Tracy would have burned something down. Somebody.
She doesn't think she should put her energy into friends.
She's right because it's a waste of time. She should put her energy into reclaiming the relationship with her son and not hating Lulu all the time. It's boring. I know they're trying to build up like this big feud that we're all gonna like root for or whatever, like Nina and Carly, but I'm just not getting it.
I'm tired of the Brooklyn and Lulu feud. I don't need it. Like
I just feel like it never really felt real because like now that Lulu is like out of the coma and
Mhm.
Brooklyn is an evolved character from the last time they even had a conversation, it doesn't make sense to reset them back to.
Right. Agreed.
It just doesn't make sense with Brooklyn's character at all.
Mhm.
It's weird.
Mhm. All right. So let's see. Maxie then invites Brooklyn over to work over at her place for deception, but then Lulu shows up and is like, "Are you still talking to me?" And Maxie's like, "Of course I'm still talking to you." I was not. I was like, "She shouldn't be." I would want Maxie to be Team Brooklyn, but she's kind of neutral.
She doesn't want to get involved because Maxie's done so many questionable things,
I
especially
get
including
that.
parentage and what she did to Lulu and like
Right.
all of that. She can't sit there and be like, "I'm going to choose sides." Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, she did have a point about that. I agree. Because Lulu's even like, I'm not shading you," and she's like, "Okay, thank you."
Why would she? Why would she?
Yeah. So they had Maxie talks to Lulu about the whole thing with Gio and Brooklyn, and Lulu stands her ground and shifts all the blame to Brooklyn as usual.
I'm so bored with this. I'm sorry. I like don't care anymore. I think it's just all these people being stubborn and annoying.
Yeah, pretty much. But she insists that someone had to tell the truth and that Dante deserved to know. But Max is like, "Well, why did it have to be you?" And she's right. It
But
didn't have to be
she's
her.
not even the first person to say that. Carly said it. Laura said it. Everyone who found out said the same thing. Why do you have to do it? And that's because of Dante, which is weird.
Yeah. Yep. So we have Brooklyn arriving at this point. So she's displeased to find out that Lulu is
I
there.
would be too. Trying to work. Can't deal with this crap right now.
The two women start to argue, and then Maxie intervenes and tells them to be quiet. And I liked what Maxie had to say. I thought that she was correct. That she had to put their differences aside for their sons. Number one. Number two, like this grudge is getting old.
Sometimes Maxie is me. Like
Yeah.
she's the voice of the audience. And when she's like, "This is getting old," I was like, "Absolutely, this is."
Yeah.
Stop.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with Brooklyn, I think she got through to her, but Lulu's
Not
not ready
Lulu.
to give this up yet.
Well, honestly, they kind of came to an understanding, and then Brooklyn said, "Well, I'll accept your apology," and then Lulu's like, "I'll never feel remorseful." And
She's like, "I owe Gio an apology, but
Yeah.
I don't owe you shit."
Which
So
so giving Brooklyn every reason to file that lawsuit. So
I don't know if it's well. Let's see what it is. I don't know what it is
Yeah.
yet.
we'll see what it is. I think she's gonna go after Lulu somehow. I don't know
I don't
how.
know how. The woman's been in a coma for years. She has no assets. I don't even know how she bought that house. With what? Food stamps? Like I don't know. Where's her money?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is
She
like-
got money from Luke when he died, and it was just kind of sitting there.
I don't think. I know we talk about Luke like he did all these adventures and stuff, but I don't think he had tons of money because why was he grifting Tracy if he had all that money?
He could have had life insurance. I don't know.
Suddenly, this becomes an Allstate commercial.
I don't know. That's just a guess. All right, so we'll talk about Portia, Curtis, Trina, and Kai. Trina and Ava catch up at the art gallery. And Trina takes notice of Ava's improved look and wanting to pull out all the stops. And Ava says that she is back in the black. And so they talk
She does
about.
look good.
She did look good, yeah. So they talk about Kai and him getting too close to Drew. Ava warns Trina that she's spot on about Drew and needs to be very careful around him. Trina also confides in that something is not good. Nothing. Something is going on between her parent. Trina, she doesn't really know.
Mhm.
Ava assures that all marriages have their moments and they're probably okay.
Yeah, she's like, stay out of it.
Great.
Adult crap.
Yeah.
Ignore it.
Exactly. So she asks her about Rick. Ava responds that Rick has been a good man to know on professional level and professional level as well. She suspects that he might. She might not. She might. What? She suspects she might even be happy, which is interesting. For I read that and I was like, is that what it says?
We have like 18 pages of notes.
Yeah, we do have a lot.
So many pages, so many notes.
I'm not reading it all though. It's a lot. All right, so let's see. Kai comes to visit Portia at her office to talk about Drew.
Mhm.
Kai says that he owed Portia and Curtis an apology for sticking up for Drew at the
Mhm.
family party. She tells him that no apology is necessary. She wanted to better understand the conflict between Drew and their family, and he says, "Is there something about Drew I'm not seeing?" Yes, Kai, there is something about Drew you're not seeing.
He's a child. I have to keep reminding myself that he's
Yes.
he's a child. He does not know.
He doesn't know. Portia told him that Drew and Curtis were once close, but Drew changed and became extremely manipulative and opportunistic, which is
True.
correct. Mm-hmm. Probably from that prison beating.
Yeah, I think it's a tumor.
You think? Yeah,
I think he has the same tumor his brother had.
it makes sense. They're twins.
Tumor. This is the way you can save him. You can have that one for free. Give him the Quartermain birthmark and have a tumor.
Yeah. She tells him that she does not expect him to turn his back on Drew, but what she wants him to be aware of how he might exploit him. So, so that's good. Finally, she advised that he and Trina should not focus on Drew and let them affect their relationship. So after Kai leaves, Portia gets very angry and leaves a very angry message for Nina because she's scared and because she needs to find Jacinda, or Curtis needs to find Jacinda.
No one needs to find Jacinda. I don't understand. Leave that woman alone.
Yeah.
She's probably on a beach somewhere working on her tan under her new name.
So Isaiah walks up and sees her throw her phone in frustration. So Trina and Kai are then hanging out at the Metroport pool, and
Everyone is.
Yeah, it's the summer.
It's pool season.
He admits that he overheard something between Portia and Curtis that he wasn't supposed to. He says that they want to. Curtis wants to find Jacinda and claim that Drew paid her for sex and took ketamine on purpose.
So they just want to like have her lie for them instead of lie for somebody else. Like, leave her alone. I think bringing her into this is going to cause so much more trouble.
He said her mom seemed to know about it as well, and he also heard them say they can't figure out their marriage until Portia is safe from Drew. So not Christina. Trina is very confused by this. She says, A, it's none of our business.
Yep.
B, she's going to trust her parents. And C, she doesn't trust Drew King. So she tells Kai to let it go and ignore it. But I don't think he will.
No, I feel like they're setting him up to get used by Drew now. Like before
agree.
it felt like it was a light like PR thing. Now it feels like he's going to get sucked into whatever's going on.
Yeah.
Because he might mention something to Drew and it's going to become a whole thing.
All right. Curtis asked Felicia to come to his office to retain her PI services. So I would love to see Felicia back in the PI business full time because it's not really working.
The patient advocate thing is boring.
It's very boring. It's not her.
She's not doing it.
It's not her. I would love to see Felicia go back to her roots.
I think if they were going to do actual hospital storylines, it would be great to have her be the patient advocate because then she'd be in the thick of things. But they're not. They're just doing the mob and everything outside of the hospital, and then once a week we show the hospital.
Right.
So get her back out in the streets.
Yeah. So Curtis hires her to find Jacinda, but Felicia says she'll do it on one condition, as long as if Jacinda declines the offer, then you have to respect
Yeah.
that.
She's like, if we find her and she says no, are you going to make me drag her back against her will? And they're like, no, just ask her. And if she says no, she says no.
Yeah,
But do you think they would leave it alone if she actually said no?
right. So we'll get back to Isaiah and Portia. Isaiah walks up to Portia's office and as she threw her phone. She made an excuse for her frustration and told him that she's lying to her husband. And Portia asked if everything he overheard her say, and he offered her support and said that she could vent to him anytime she needs to. So
Are we setting up for something?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they're gonna push Curtis and Jordan back together, and they're gonna put
No.
Isaiah. I don't want them to get back
You can
together.
date other people on the cast, Curtis.
So Portia doesn't soften though. She told him the strain and stress were a part of the job, and she was equipped to handle it. And her marriage is none of his business. So he stops
True.
pushing and he leaves.
Well, it was rude.
Yeah,
He just interjected
he
himself.
did interject.
I didn't really like that. I like him
No.
though, so it's fine.
Yeah. So Martin's back this week, and he goes to see Laura at her office. And Martin confesses that he is broke because of his ex-wives. They took all his money. And he sees Tracy later, and she says, "Blair sent me a very lovely bouquet."
I love any mention of Blair.
That was awesome. I loved their little bickering scene. It was really funny. It's good to have Martin back. I hope that he has more scenes. With
He's
Tracy.
comedic relief.
Mm-hmm.
He can handle the heavy stuff, but he's also a very he's a lighter character, and I enjoy him. I kind of hope that he and Lucy get back together.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Because she's not doing anything right now. That makes me sad. She did such a great job on the nurses' ball, and now she's off again.
Yeah.
I hate it. Bring her back.
Yeah. Well, Laura welcomed Martin back, of course, and said she can stay with her and Kevin, who we have not seen yet.
Where is Kevin?
We don't know where Kevin is,
I miss
but
Kevin.
apparently he's around. All right, so
John Lindstrom's writing his second book. He's busy.
As we talked about earlier, Martin tries to recruit Elizabeth to be his new client, and then Tracy intervenes, and that's when that whole scene happened with Blair. That was really funny. Tracy. I also love when she said, "What did she say?" Oh, we used to say on Sell by Clark, she had it coming. I love her.
Let's make some Chicago references.
Yeah. Oh, and then she said something about toilet Chardonnay, which was really funny.
Oh god.
Okay, and then he said a clip about her being out of jail for drug charges. I love when they go back and forth. It's really
They
good.
have very good energy together. It's a shame
do.
they hate each other.
Yeah.
Because that would be fun.
All right, well, let's talk about Natalia, our favorite person.
Natalia. I don't know what to tell you about her.
Me
That blue
either.
dress was weird. She always looks good. I guess this is it for her. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Sunny meets Natalia in her car in the parking lot. She warns him about Turner and what she's up to. Natalia also tells him about her DI arrest and the whole story. Sunny doesn't think Natalia would incriminate him, but she said she did, and she put him in prison for a very long time. So it's because of the deception.
So
record
it
she
turns out
had.
the deception files when she worked there, she did what you usually do, which is she went deep into the money and found some discrepancies. Now, on their own, they're legitimate, but they give ADA Turner away like a backdoor into Sunny's finances to examine them. So it's like, this is so Al Capone coded. Like, I feel like eventually they're going to get Sunny on RICO violations.
Yes.
They tried before. They almost got him before on RICO violations.
Right.
That's how you get mobsters. Follow the money.
So in the end, Sunny agrees to help her, and that she trusts her, and he'll handle everything. Natalia thanks him, and she's relieved about this.
Why? He's not helpful.
No, not at all. So later, Sunny and Jason talk about how much Willow needs help, which we'll talk about later, and then he says that Natalia's becoming a real issue for her.
Jason made it seem like he was going to.
Yeah, right?
And I was like, because that's Jason's job.
Yeah, but he's gonna do right by Natalia. I think we'll see. Well, I think something's gonna trip it up this whole plan though, for sure.
Well, he's just gonna get rid of her. Like,
Yeah.
his plan is to set her up somewhere else and have her
Right.
start over. That's
Mhm.
not a plan that helps Natalia. That cuts her off from her family and her friends and every contact she's ever had.
True.
It really just benefits Sunny.
Mhm. Well, yeah. So also, Natalia went to see Alexis and Marco, and Alexis has to recuse herself because of her relationship with Sunny. But she tells Marco the whole story and how she's, 88 Turner is forcing her into this deal.
Hmm.
So Marco says he's gonna, even though he has these animosity towards her, he's not gonna let anything bad happen to her. So that was really nice.
Yeah, but he's also smart because he says, oh, he's like, don't
But,
give 88 Turner anything without proof
mm-hmm,
that she's actually going to give you the deal. And he's very lawyerly about it because I
hmm
feel like she just panicked with everything that happened. And then Sonny's like, I'll take care of it. And she just trusted Sonny. And really, she
hmm
should have just trusted her son.
right, because Marco still thinks that her life's at risk, but Natalia
It
thinks
is,
something.
though.
Yeah,
It is. Just because Sonny says he's going to do you a favor, his favor could be put you on a plane, then shoot that plane down over the Atlantic. You don't know.
yeah, that's true.
He's a
Hmm
mobster. He's not a good person.
So Natalia leaves, and then Molly arrives and introduces herself. Marco informs her that they need to talk about her mother's case. She responds that he needs to speak to Turner because she took over the case.
Mhm.
Natalia visits Sonny at his office and assures him that they are in this together and that they shouldn't be concerned about her. He shouldn't be concerned about her well-being. He comes with an idea he can send her to Belize so she can begin a new chapter in her life, mentioning that he has property there.
Belize.
Belize, yeah.
He just said, I'm going to kidnap you and put you on a property I own and control.
Hmm
And she's going to agree to that.
Right. Well, she does agree.
Get the hell out of here.
So he's going to send her off to start a new life somewhere else,
It's like when
basically.
you send your sick dog to the farm.
Hmm
Ay, ridiculous.
All right, so let's talk about this whole Dante's still an ass, by the way.
Yeah, he sucks this week.
Yeah,
Sorry, Dante. Sorry, Dominic.
we like you, Dominic, but not
We love
Dante.
you. You were great on Stargate.
Yeah, but yeah, he's still an ass. Like he and Chase are getting into it at work, and
Oh, Anna had to call him on
she
it.
did.
But he was acting like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, oh, I would never have lied to you. Like, yeah, your wife's involved and you never would have lied to me. Please, come on.
Yeah.
He's got that from Sonny. The whole everything I do is fine and everything you do is a problem because you're lying to me. My code of honor.
Right. Exactly.
I hate that. I wish he hadn't gotten that from Sonny. He should have gotten more from Olivia.
Yeah.
Although I think Olivia has the same code, so maybe we'd be in the same position.
Anna's also taken aback when she hears from Molly that ADA Turner took on Natalia's case for a simple DUI,
Hmm.
which she found very interesting.
Well,
So
she already warned Sonny, and he was like, "It's no big deal. I'm not worried about
Mhm.
anything."
So then Dante comes in and appeals to Anna and tells her that he can't collaborate with Chase anymore, and he can't work with him.
Anna's like, "Grow up."
Yeah, basically.
That was such an 80s statement to say because, like, back in the day in the 80s, they were always like, "Get over it. You have to deal with it. Be a big boy." And she just
hmm
straight up was like, "You need to get
She
over
also says that she understands why Brooklyn and Chase chose to keep this from him.
it." Mhm.
And it's not Chase's secret to tell either. So I don't know why he's mad at him. It doesn't.
Because he's his best friend, and when you're best
Yeah.
friends with someone, you expect them to keep you informed, let you know what's going on if something involves you. But the
hmm
complication of the relationship is it was his wife, so he can't
hmm
tell other people's secrets. That like
hmm
then you're a crap friend and a
Yeah.
crap husband. You're a crap husband.
Yeah. All right. So there's a comparison the situation that occurred with Robert and Anna because Robert didn't know about Robin until she
Listen,
was 5 years
half the
old.
men on this show and
Yeah.
women
Yeah.
hid their identities from their children. We got
hmm
Sasha, we got Anna, we've got Felicia. Everybody in town was like, I'm in danger. I can't tell anyone I have 12 children in a house in Colorado. And like Robin had no idea that Anna was her mother even. She came to town with Philomena. So
hmm
it's and you go to her and you say, well, she should have told. And Anna's like, maybe she shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Grow up. Learn to work with your partner.
Right.
Just because he lied in one instance doesn't mean he's lied about everything your entire life. But these black and white thinking situations are too much.
Yeah. So Dante returns to his desk and Chase confronts him, claiming he let his personal emotions interfere with work.
Mhm.
Dante is firm he won't allow that to happen again. In response, Dante raises a voice accusing Chase of keeping his wife's secret. Just then Anna enters. So they're still at odds.
Hannah's like, what did I just say?
Yes, what did I just
You
say?
dum-dums.
Okay, so we'll talk briefly about Alexis and Tracy before we get into the custody trial. Alexis meets with Tracy at the Quartermains. Tracy points out that she is Scout's grandmother and she wants her to go after Scout for custody.
Yep.
Which I kind of agree with.
I agree with too.
Yeah,
I think that he's not doing anything that Sam asked him to do. Sam wanted
and
him.
Tracy points that out too.
Yeah, Sam wanted the kids kept together. Sam wanted the kids with family. And Drew's like, I'm family. I'm the only family she needs. I'm not a cult leader at all.
But Alexis surprisingly says she doesn't want to interfere. And I thought that was.
She's got too much going on.
with
She
Christina.
can't have scrutiny on her right now when she's embezzling funds, covering up an attempted murder.
Right, that's true.
She's like, and now I gotta convince Martin not to go and do a lawsuit with Elizabeth, or I'm cooked. And like the stress of this for her, I'm sure she would rather that Scout was with her because initially she did try to put all the children with her because she wanted them all together.
Right.
The Quartermain mansion was the compromise, and of course Drew broke that because he sucks.
Right.
Not you, Cameron. You're great.
Yes, you are. So Tracy also brings up the ridiculous ketamine charges. Alexis reminds her of her past actions with her, which was, yep, I remember
You
that.
mean when she tried to murder her father by withholding his heart medication?
Yeah.
That was fake. He already took his heart medication. He was one step ahead
Or
of her.
I was thinking of the car accident, maybe.
When she said she was drunk. Yeah. She's like, why do you keep bringing that up? That was forever ago.
Yeah.
I'm over it. Why are you?
Alexis counters that the case will progress if Drew testifies. She implores Tracy to drop the entire matter. So I don't think she should. Well, she's not going to. I think Alexis should pursue this, but Alexis has too much going on.
Tracy is just such an old school Quartermain because it's like, yeah, you do all this scheming and lying and whatever, and then you're over.
You know what?
it and on
Dante
to the
should
next
sue
one.
Drew for custody of Scout.
He should.
Mm-hmm.
He might have a case.
He would have a case.
Yeah, because he was the custodial parent, one of the custodial parents for years.
Yeah. All right, so we'll get into the nitty gritty of the week, the custody battle, and Will, Michael, Drew, etc., etc. So Rick and Drew show up at the hospital. Flustered Drew tells him that Michael, Will, and the kids had a very cozy moment together, and he is not happy. He does not want to risk them reconciling. So Christina brings Wiley and Amelia to the hospital. So I'm questioning Michael's parenting skills if he trusts Christina to watch his kids.
He doesn't know.
I know he doesn't know. He doesn't get it.
He's like, Christina's kind of normal and things are good after she went to therapy at the graveyard where she yells at a stone. That's therapy, and she's fine now. He doesn't know she's trying to murder people all the time, and now she's got a new gigolo scheme going on. Good for her, I guess.
I know.
She seems fine with the children. I don't. I mean, these children have been being raised by Willow, who's crazy right now, so I guess it's fine.
Right. Exactly. Well. All right. So Lucas stays with Wiley while Christina goes to the ladies' room with Amelia.
And then Lucas gets called to the desk.
Yeah, Lucas gets called to the desk, and then Drew maneuvers this so Wiley overhears that Michael no longer wants him and Amelia.
Horrible.
Which was
horrible thing to say.
Despicable.
These poor kids.
I know. So even Rick his face was like, you went way too far. But Drew says it's the only way to make sure that Willow gets full custody.
Well, he said to him, he said, you want to tell me what the point of that little pantomime for this kid was? Like, why are we doing this? And he's just like, I need control. Because he's a psycho.
He is. So Lucas returns and finds Wiley very upset.
Doesn't know what happened.
He doesn't know what happened. But Michael comes in and Wiley tells him what Uncle Drew said. And Michael reassures him that he loves he and his sister more than anything. And Michael is furious by this whole thing, as he should be.
I actually loved it. It was very sweet to see Michael tell him you're going to be a big brother again, and you have to teach your sister how to be a big sister. And it was really sweet and gave us a chance to bond with Rory because he's new.
Yeah,
he's new.
He is new.
And he's doing really well with the kid. Also, the little kid that plays Wiley. Wow, great work this week.
Yeah, for sure. So Nina and Willow get to the courthouse. before going to the hospital, Michael calls her and he says he wants to speak to her privately before the hearing.
Hmm.
Nina and Willow are very excited because they think
They're gonna
Michael's
win.
going to well, yeah, but he thinks there might be a compromise too,
Mhm.
which might be what's for the best. But after Michael's testimony, Nina remarks that she wasn't even sure Michael would get visitation.
No, that's what she wanted.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, they're her children.
Yeah,
They're her children.
they're her children.
And Michael understands that they're her children and they never need to be with their father. Not ever. She's
So
weird.
Willow is fully ready to compromise with Nina cheering her on. She did ask Nina why she kept the secret about Sasha and Michael from her, but she ultimately forgives her and says how grateful she is to Nina for everything. So Michael then arrives, upset and angry about what happened at the hospital. He tells Willow, and she doesn't believe a word of this. She says, Drew would never say that.
Drew would never say that. So Wiley misheard something that you said. And I was
Mhm.
like, you need to be sent to a deprogramming camp, like immediately.
And then Drew denies it, of course. And then he says that shows them how unwell Michael is, and and the kids do not belong with him.
Mm-hmm.
Nina's outraged, though. She looks on at this.
Nina looks like if she could murder him with a look, she would have killed him and everyone around him just by accident. She was so enraged.
Oh, yeah. So Michael talks to Diane and says he's sick to the original plan. There's
Full
no
custody.
full custody.
He was thinking about it too, because his initial thought was 60-40. Like he would have 60, she would have 40, and the kids would be fine. And he can't do that with Drew around.
Right. And I also love when Michael says to well, I want you to remember this moment. This is the moment that you could have ended things and you chose Drew over our kids. Yet again.
Yes. Killing it.
Rory Gibson was awesome in
Killing
that
it.
scene.
I kind of wish Chad had gotten to do these scenes, but
I do too, kind of.
because
I
he
would've
was in
loved-
this storyline for such a long time. Like I kind of wish he had, but at the same time, you get what you get, and Rory's doing a killer job.
For real, yeah. Oh, so the hearing is not over. It's Willow's turn to take a stand. So it's funny. I initially watched Willow's testimony and I was like, oh my God, she did good. And then I rewatched and I was like, no, she didn't do good. She was saying Drew and I, me and Drew, constantly.
No, nothing about the kids. It was
Nothing
always
about
what
the kids.
She wanted, what her and Drew wanted for the
Right.
kids, and the kids were like an afterthought.
Exactly. So yeah. So I was like, okay. But everyone was so convinced that Willow was going to win custody, and and then I rewatched the testimony. And I was like, no,
Because consistently the courts give the children to the mother,
right?
if there's
yeah.
no issue with the mother, and a lot of times the fathers don't even fight for the kids. So this is a tough scenario because when fathers fight, they win custody a lot.
Yeah.
But most of the time, in those cases, they don't. Like if you're breaking up this way.
Well, yeah. And then I love when Diane said, even when you had sex with Drew on the floor of your children's nursery, so your children have no bearing on your affair.
Yeah.
Diane asked all the right questions, and I also liked when Willow actually never answered the question. What's more important to you, your children or Drew? And she never actually.
She did though. She answered it by saying all the stuff she said, like Drew and I, me and Drew.
Exactly.
Drew,
yeah.
and the judge heard that, which is different for soap. Usually the judge is terrible.
Yeah. Well,
this lady was listening.
Yeah. So then Rick questions Willow and asks her why she's positioning for full custody, not share custody. Willow says she was hopeful for a compromise until an hour ago when Michael gave in to his animosity for Drew, and she would not agree to a joint custody arrangement. Willow said she deeply regrets the way her marriage ended, but she fell in love with Drew, but her marriage was already over at that point.
Was it?
Yeah.
Or did she just entirely give up for this new infatuation?
She did. So she testifies that she was the sole parent of the kids when Michael was in Germany, and that Drew has been a godsend.
Because she signed those papers so he could go to Germany. She was fully informed that he was going to Germany, but he abandoned those children by almost dying. What a jerk. Every time she says it, I get so mad. It's like, I keep saying, it's like, if you got shot and went into a coma, did you abandon your children? Like, is that abandonment? Is that abandonment? So yeah, it's like, Drew,
She said that she may have made mistakes, but she didn't. They didn't change the fact that she was widely in Emil's matter, and they belong with her. I got so tired of her saying they
She
belong
said
with
that
me.
they belong with me. I have no
Mm.
factual information to back this up. They belong with me.
So also, the whole Germany thing comes out because Nina said, or not Nina, Willow says that she went to Germany and Michael did refuse to see her, and he wrote on Diane's pad that like
That
this
never
never
happened.
happened. So that still has not been cleared up, but hopefully it will.
Mm. Well, it's gonna come out when they're going after Drew.
Yeah. So court is adjourned, and then we're back at Drew and Willow's house. Nina picks Willow up and praises how well she did in court. Willow and Nina are convinced that Mike
You're gonna win.
that they're going to win, and she's convinced that Michael lied and about Drew and was outraged that he would go that far. Nina tries to get Willow to see if it's possible that Wiley did overhear Drew say something.
Why would Wiley lie?
Yeah, why would
Like,
Wiley lie?
this is not a scenario. He was upset, and he said Drew said it. Like,
hmm Nina also tried again to coax Will to see the possibility of a compromise with Michael when Drew came in. He enthusiastically feels that they're getting the kids and that he and Will are going to move to DC
"Mm,
and
live
live happily ever after.
after." No, no.
Yeah. Drew raised. Drew says Willow is practically a saint for delivering Sasha's baby, which no.
That was ridiculous.
Mhm.
You know what? I felt like that should have happened on a Friday, and she should have gone into labor, and then I feel like all of this happened kind of quickly for me. Like, I feel like again when Willow, like later on, like when she, that should have been the end of the episode, and then it just kept going, and I'm like, the
Mhm.
timing of these things. What happened to a cliffhanger?
Mhm.
Give us a real one.
Yeah. So Nina says to Drew, even if you wouldn't be so selfish, so unearned, so depraved, as hear my set up my sweet grandson to hear that his father no longer wants him because he has a new baby. And then Drew says, "What Riley heard was exactly what the Willow and the judge needed him to hear." And he's so proud of himself.
Because all he thinks about is the means to an end. He does not care who it hurts in the.
Even if it's a child.
No, because he doesn't care about those kids at all. He only wants Willow. He
hmm
doesn't care about the kids. He might
No.
want their proxies, but he doesn't care about them as people.
But that's
Have you
what
seen him hold any of the children or talk to any of the children for more than half a second?
no, and
I
he
bought them toys. Put the children in a room so we can hang out, I guess.
hmm right.
Ever since he bought that house just to move them into it, I've been really creeped out by him. Feels like he's going to murder those children.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it
Wouldn't
be
surprise me.
like she wants the children? I think that's the only reason he's fighting for them. Otherwise, like,
Well, he wants their proxies. That's why he's
but
fighting for
does he
them.
even do? We haven't seen Scout since what, the nurse's ball for
Nope.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
So he really cares about his kid. That's one thing.
Yeah. Right. Which is why Alexa should shoot for custody, but
She can't right now.
no,
She's in over her head.
I know. They questioned if leaving would be a good idea, but vowed to be there for anything that they needed. Michael strongly felt the judge was not going to rule in his favor. Carly warns Michael that he could be charged with kidnapping because Michael's planning to leave with the kids if the verdict
I'm
doesn't
fine
go
with
his
that.
way.
I think that's what he should have done. If he
Mhm.
had lost custody, he's rich. He could have just dipped with the children and just done exactly what Sonny's doing to Natalia.
Yeah. So when we get back to court, Michael and Will had that scene in the park first, where they met up, and then the verdict comes in, and she
They rushed to the court.
they rush to the courthouse. Yes. So Sonny and Jason both throw Michael their support, and Jason tells Michael that there's a jet ready for them, and no one will ever know he left with the kids. So
And they'll arrest Jason, and he won't speak. That's what he always does.
Basically, yeah.
He's not going to say anything.
yeah. Carly still thinks Michael is making a huge mistake, and she
Oh,
pleads
shut
with
up,
him
Carly.
to
You would have did the same thing.
I know she would have done the same thing with Michael.
Younger Carly would have done much worse. Younger Carly would have probably set Drew up better than they did.
Michael says he can live with this because his children are going to be safe from Drew. So
That's fair. I understand that.
I get it.
That point of view is valid.
Okay, so we'll get to the verdict. The rulings are in. The judge dissolved the marriage of Michael and Willow and divided their assets. And then
She didn't get that much. Did you notice that?
not really.
She
She
got,
got the
like-
Range Rover
yeah.
and something else. Yeah, and the
She-
art and the her clothes.
She did not get a lot out of that
She didn't get
divorce.
her $5 million, did she? I didn't mention it.
Mm-mm. I don't know. I think they were like, she got no property. She got
Mhm.
her car. She got, like you said, the artwork. I guess she could sell the artwork.
Mhm.
She didn't get much. Drew was probably like, "Don't take anything, baby. I'll provide for you."
Yeah.
And
Probably.
then she's gonna end up with nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing.
So I love the verdict. It was great because she was literally reading, kind of like saying everything the audience thought about
These
Willow.
are your list
This
of
was on the
crimes,
lines. Yes,
Willow.
she signed over guardianship to Drew without consulting Michael. She moved up kids 4 times. Like so many different
That
things.
was a big one because, like, she
Yeah.
had custodial parents, custodial grandparents, like all kinds of like because everybody was living at the house together, and
Hmm.
even like Carly was available, like. And she's just like, "Hi, random great uncle from this family who is estranged. You may have my children, not
Hmm.
their grandparents on either side." Like that,
Hmm.
why wouldn't you leave your children to Nina? She's your
Hmm.
mother.
She also transported Wiley across straight lines without his father's knowledge,
She
and
also slept with
Drew in the same room as Wiley. Yeah, that's fucked up. Sorry.
It is.
That's horrible.
It really.
No wonder she lost custody. Like,
Yeah, there was no way she was getting custody. I thought Michael was going to get custody the whole time, and everyone kept telling me that he was not.
they
And
were,
I
did a
started
good.
getting nervous.
They did a good job making it look like it could go either way,
Yeah,
though.
they did. They did
Yeah,
a great job.
yeah. But also the paperwork that we talked about giving Drew guardianship was mentioned as well. And Willow's demonstrating a consistent pattern of negligence regarding her children's well-being. Thank you so much, Judge, for pointing that out.
Things we've been seeing this entire time.
Yeah.
That she crazy.
So Michael gets full custody, and Willow at first doesn't understand this
How could this
revelation.
happen to me? I am their mother, and the children belong with me.
Yeah,
Oh God, stop saying that.
and then she has a pretty epic breakdown, and honestly, like I don't like Willow. I don't like what she did. Well, I mean, I don't like her now, but I did like her
I
in the
still don't
past.
like her.
But I thought she broke my heart. Caitlin McMullen killed it, and I don't. She made me feel bad for Will, which is no small feat. Like she really did.
I felt bad for her on like a human level because that's a lot of pain to go through. But
Right. That's what I mean.
it was
Yeah.
all earned.
It was
She
definitely.
earned all of
I mean,
that.
she definitely got what she deserved, but still, like her performance definitely made me feel
Perfect.
bad for her, and she did an amazing job. She was
Yeah,
really
she
great.
should put that in on her Emmy reel.
Yes,
She deserves an Emmy for
absolutely.
that. Perfect job.
She did a great job. So she has a breakdown, and I feel everybody was. It was hard to watch for everybody. Even Carly was like, kind of like, wow.
Carly was upset because I think Carly remembers who she was before Drew, and I
Mm,
think she has sympathy for that woman. And I
she
think that's
does,
the same as
and
what
Jason does
Michael.
as well. Jason felt horrible, and
Well, he just feels like
mhm,
Jason is an empathetic guy for someone who has
mm,
only quarter of a brain.
yeah, he is. But I also love when Jason points out later that Drew did this and to
Mhm.
Willow, like, and
He's
it's
like,
all on
we're gonna
Drew.
get
It's
revenge on
all
him
on
for
Drew.
doing this.
Yeah, it's all
They
on
all want
Drew.
revenge.
Hmm. So Michael, Diane, Carly, and Jason are in disbelief about what just happened. Even though it's upsetting to see Willow. Diane said it reinforced that the judge made the right decision.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Michael,
she melted down.
yeah. So Willow collapses in the courtroom. Drew and Nina then bring her to the hospital.
Showing everyone she's unstable.
Yeah. She's barely responsive when Olivia asks her how she's doing. Uh, so this was one of my favorite scenes of the week. Also, was Nina berates Drew about how this is all his fault,
This is all
and and my favorite line of the week was "Listen,"
your fault.
when she was like, "Listen." Cynthia Waters killed that scene. It was so
She was good
good.
all week. Come on, she was
Yeah,
killing it. She was just like so hopeful with Willow, and
yeah.
then seeing her daughter go through this
Mhm.
dramatic. Oh yeah, she did great.
And one of my favorite lines is, "My daughter lost her children because she did everything you wanted her to do with since your egregious affair with her started, and the eyes of the court that makes her a bad mother." And she kind of stumbled on saying "bad mother," but she's right. Like, so Elizabeth updates Nina and Drew and tells that Will's vitals are good, but she may have to see a psych, go through a psych consult
Oh, they would
because
definitely have a psych hold on her for
yeah.
that because she really
Mhm.
melted down.
I also like when Rick came in to check on Willow, and he told Elizabeth this was the hardest case. One of the, he felt really bad about losing, and that
Mhm.
Elizabeth said, "I'm sure you did the best you could." Elizabeth does feel for Willow as a mother, so I like that Rick had some remorse, and I think it's about the Drew thing as well.
I think he also believes he could have gotten custody for her if Drew wasn't involved.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If
He was putting on a really great case.
mhm
It just
mhm
Drew is too much of a problem to
mhm.
overcome. Sucks.
Well, also in that confrontation with Nina and Drew, Nina tells Drew the best thing for Willow is for him to walk away from her.
Yeah, he wants to go in because he's lost control of the situation, so he needs to reestablish control. And
Mhm
Nina does not allow that to happen. She's like, "You're just going to upset her more. This is all your fault. You could just
mhm.
go."
Yeah. All right. So Michael, Jason, and Carla go back to Carly's house. They want to make sure Michael's okay. As hard as it was to watch Willow on the stand go, not on the stand, but in court go through that.
Mhm.
He's remorseful, but he couldn't reconcile that the Willow with the one that he married previously. Carly would like hopes this is a wake up call for Willow so she can get her act together and have a relationship with her children. So this is when Jason and Carla sit down and Jason points out that Drew is the one that's to blame. So I don't like that scene a lot. He shattered Willow. That's another thing he said that
Yeah.
I liked. Yeah. Michael goes outside to tell Wiley about the divorce and about he's probably not going to see his mother for a while. He assures Wiley that his mother loves him very much and that she'll see him as soon as she can. All right. Mm.
He kind of does imply that she's sick right now.
Yeah,
Like the
she
way he
did.
did it, and he was really gentle about it because he was upset in the courtroom because his idea was 60-40.
Mhm.
That he was not going to cut Willow off from their kids. He was just going to kind of control visitation.
Right.
And then the judge was just like, no to the infinite power. And then Willow melted down. And when she melted down, I think Michael thought she's a danger to the kids right now.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
now he has to cut her off completely until she gets whatever this is under control.
Right. So Drew consults Martin. It's so funny how they switch the attorneys very quickly because
Mhm.
he's desperate to get Willow her kids back. And Martin says he went over the ruling and there's really not much he can do. It would just make Willow look worse.
Yeah. Well, her melting down in the
hmm
courtroom that's on record. So they're going to be
hmm
like, "Wow, she had a mental breakdown." So now at this point, she has to go in for therapy. She has to
hmm
start getting proof that she's a good person. She's going to need a social worker. I mean,
hmm
she's got to get rid of Drew, and she's not unwilling to do it.
Right. Drew believes there must be a way to appeal, but Martin says the chances are so slim it will only take one plaintiff law, which we just talked about.
Yep,
Drew does not like this reality, so he tells Martin.
this is
Uh,
a lie. This can't be reality. It's not what I want.
Martin acknowledges it's very unusual for a judge to make a ruling like this.
Mhm.
So while appeal is impossible, they could attempt to reopen discussions with Michael and persuade him to allow some form of access. Drew is confident that Michael will ensure Willow doesn't have any contact with the kids while he's present.
That's true.
So he trusts that at his core, Michael is a decent person who will uphold his previous commitments. So he consults Jason and says that he wants to give an offer to Michael. So we kind of know what that offer is. He hasn't said
60
it yet.
40
Yeah,
again.
right.
And
Or
if I were Michael, I'd be like, no.
no. And
Goodbye.
do you really trust Drew at this point? No, I don't.
No, nobody trusts
Who
Drew.
trusts Drew?
Drew keeps trying to trade on relationships he doesn't have anymore. Like he's
hmm
destroyed his relationship with Michael. He's destroyed his relationship with the entire family, including Monica. And
hmm
he's destroyed his relationship with Nina. Like he has
hmm
no one to help him out. So he's
Yeah.
not gonna do it.
hmm All right. Do you have anything else?
It was a really good week.
hmm
Very exciting. I think that the trial could have gone on a little longer. I think we could have ended on the cliffhanger of her freaking out and passing out. I think that would have been a cool ending block. I don't understand why they're not using the natural cliffhangers that keep happening. Like
hmm
when Sasha went into labor, that should have been it for the day.
hmm
So I kind of wish they would do more of that. I'm a monster, I know, but we need more cliffhangers. It just, I don't know. General Hospital's ratings are up, which is awesome.
hmm
Keep it going, guys. Keep watching on Hulu. Keep watching on ABC. I want more show.
Yes, it
More
was
show.
really good. This week is really awesome. All right, so we'll head over to Patreon. We have some clip of the week nominees this week. Willow has our breakdown. Lucky and Liz say goodbye at the airport, and Gio and Rocco at the Metro Court agreeing to put a hold on the brother thing. So we'll head over to Patreon and we'll discuss a little speculation and we'll pick our performer of the week as well. So thank you so much, and we'll
Thanks.
see you then. Bye bye.
Bye.